everyone. Thought I would do a real quick recording, just sharing some thoughts on the market and where we're at the moment. I'm in my car, you could probably tell. This is a sequel to Driving with Dread from a long time ago. Yeah, the markets are, well, not just crypto at the moment, but the markets all over the world are all over the place. We can see, you know, when you look at crypto at the moment, it's very much following the larger macro trends, right? So there's a strong correlation at the moment with Bitcoin and the Nasdaq, and the Nasdaq's been seeing some downside. And you look at the S&P, you look at the DJI, you look across the board, there's some downward momentum everywhere, and everyone's a bit on the edge at the moment. When we look at what's happening with the US and, well, across the world with inflation, but especially eyes on the US in terms of what they're going to do to battle inflation, and whether they are going to start hiking interest rates. And, you know, the Fed have been quite, not, I wouldn't say clear, but they've been quite forward in terms of saying we're going to be quite aggressive with how we handle inflation. We're ready to hike rates. The markets themselves, especially equities, it kind of feels like they're calling bullshit on the Fed and Jay Powell. Essentially saying, we hear what you're saying, but we don't believe you're actually going to do it. And I think that's left equities and certain markets a bit higher than they should be right now with the words that's coming out from the Fed. So I think what you're seeing at the moment is a bit of I don't know, maybe a bit of a catch-up needed in terms of the markets correlating to what the Fed actually have planned. And I'm of the opinion that they will hike rates quite aggressively. And if that happens, again, this is just my opinion, but if that happens, I think crypto is going to get caught up in it in a pretty bad way, because it's going to have a downward pressure and a negative effect on a lot of markets around the world. It's going to slow growth. So I think crypto is going to get caught up in that, because at the moment, until it changes, Bitcoin, Ethereum, they're acting like risk assets. Like I said, there's a strong correlation with the Nasdaq. So until they can prove that they are uncorrelated, I expect to see Bitcoin have the same downward pressure that the rest of the markets are going to have. It really is on Bitcoin and crypto markets to prove that they are uncorrelated, but it just hasn't been the case so far. So I posted up a thing a while ago. I'm in the car again, so I can't actually look at charts or certain levels, but Bitcoin's been in this nice channel for a year now, for over a year, and it's the channel essentially from 30k up to 60, back to 30, back to 60, and then back to where we are right now, near 30 again. And Bitcoin is sitting to the lower end of that channel right now, but not looking too disturbed. It's looking okay. But that's the channel that I'm watching, because if it really is quite simple, and I always try to simplify things. I'm not one of these people who puts a million indicators on the chart. I try to keep things really simple and clear, like your mind should be, I guess, when you're investing. So to me, it's quite clear. We're in this channel. If we break up from this channel, the bull market resumes, clearly. Okay. At the moment, it's been a lot of sideways, I guess. On a larger time frame, we've been moving sideways. But if we break down from that channel, that's a clear indication right there that there's a lot of bearish momentum, and we should be looking at Bitcoin moving down quite significantly. This is if we break down from the channel. And I can't remember, I think the channel's at around, the bottom of the channel's around 34,000 at the moment, I think. But yeah, in my eyes, it's simple. We break that channel, that's bearish. And if we are to do that, then we would need to start looking at levels that we would expect Bitcoin to find support and to build another base for another leg up. And the level that I'm looking at is 200 SMA. The 200 SMA on the weekly has been rock solid. We've only touched it 3 or 4 times in Bitcoin's entire history, and every time it's found support. And we've only ever entered RSI on Bitcoin, the oversold area of the RSI on the weekly, twice in its entire history, and that marked the bottom of the markets both times. To me, this would be the area that I would be looking at. If we was to break down from that channel, I think it would be pretty significant, and I think we would be looking at a serious retracement, which means I would be looking a lot lower. And if I was looking a lot lower, the 200 SMA is where I would be looking. And the 200 SMA is around 24,000, I think, something like that. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at the moment. And I just parallel parked while describing all of that, and I'm terrible at parallel parking, so I'm really proud of myself right there. I'm gonna grab the shopping out the car and I'll be back in 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Got the shopping in and had a little play with the cat, so I'm all ready. So yeah, I guess that would be the bearish scenario. Okay, so that would be very bearish if that was to happen, if that was to play out. Of course, it might not play out that way. We might see some impressive uncorrelation with Bitcoin and crypto and the rest of the markets. And oh, sorry, I'm just trying to get comfortable. There we go. And yeah, we might bounce off the bottom of this channel. We might not even test the bottom of the channel, and we might move higher towards the upper bound of the channel, which would be around 65 to 70k, which would be amazing. But that would be my bearish scenario. So I know the question would probably be, well, what would you do in that scenario? And I've been, ever since this inflation talk has been getting more prominent, I've been doing a lot more research and watching a lot more videos, reading a lot more articles, trying to get more familiar with just what a lot of the terms mean, because, you know, I've never really been that sort of guy. You know, crypto was my gateway to this whole world in terms of finance and a lot of it. So I won't pretend to say I'm an expert, because I'm not. But I've been doing as much research as I can, because that's all that I can do, really. And the more research that I've been doing, going back in history and looking at what's happened in the past, it's made me a bit more wary. So I've been positioning myself over time, over the past couple of months, I would guess, due to this inflation talk. So I'm not someone I'm admittedly not a great trader. I'm not great at entries and exits, and I overshoot or I undershoot, and I get out too early or I get out too late. I'm not great. You know, I'm not one of these, you know, crypto Twitter people who calls every bottom and sells every top. But I tried to cover my bases. So in this specific scenario, you know, I have positions that are just long-term positions that I don't touch and that I add to. And then I have amounts that I play with. So I will try and swing, I'll try and make more, I will try and improve my positions. But there are positions and bags that I don't touch. You know, your quants and your Aleph zeros and stuff like that. They're just long term. You know, I'm willing to sit on them for multiple years, you know, 3 to 5 to 10 years, whatever, right? And there'll be people saying they won't even be around that time, but that's the belief. You have to have that conviction. So they're positions I don't touch, and they're the positions that I won't touch. If this all plays out and we do go lower, they'll sit there, they'll be fine, because I believe in them long term. But I also tried to cover my bases in terms of selling positions. I've been lowering my exposure over the past couple of months and building up a healthy stablecoin position, and it's worked out quite well. And that's kind of where I'm at. I have my long-term bags that I'm willing to sit on for years and years anyway. And then I have, you know, stable coin positions that I'm willing to sit in case we go lower, because that way, if we go higher, I still have my healthy positions in projects that I believe in that will appreciate in value. If we go lower, I have a healthy stablecoin position to capitalize on any lower prices. So I've kind of tried to, you know, capitalize on either scenario, and accept, you know, if we go higher in the positions that I lowered my exposure to, I accept that. I accept that I won't make an increase on those positions I had. That's fine. That's fine. That's the risk management you have to take sometimes, is the risk and the reward. So that's kind of where I'm at in regards to that. A lot of the positions that I have as well, in terms of long-term positions and positions that I really believe in, have staking rewards or have passive income tendencies, or are aiming to. So, you know, Morpheus Network with their master nodes, and Quant with their gateways. Alif Zero obviously launching staking in a couple of days. Checked has staking. You know, a lot of these positions, you know, Unizen, of course, ZTX with their DMAS, they're bringing in passive income. So even if those long-term positions go lower and depreciate in value, still actually making passive income, so it's not a total loss, and it would just be a matter of waiting longer. In my opinion, that's fine, and that's just a decision you have to make. But of course, this could all be, you know, completely wrong. All this analysis can be completely wrong, and Bitcoin could move higher, and which will drag the rest of the market up with it. But I do feel like at the moment there is a lot of pressure on the global economy, and I feel like crypto is going to get caught up in it one way or another, and that's just kind of where my mind is at the moment. And I know there's other people who share that opinion. There's other people who believe that, you know, it doesn't really matter and Bitcoin will be 100 grand at the end of the year regardless. Something I don't agree with at all. So yeah, limiting my exposure on positions that I don't need, and just sitting on my hands on long-term positions that I believe in over a longer time period. It's kind of where I'm at. So really simple. If we break from that long-term trend, that long-term channel around 34k, I believe we're going lower. I will aim a lot lower. I have orders set on a lot of projects that I want to get at lower prices. It's difficult to pick levels, obviously, because if we do break that 34, I do think we'll go lower into the mid-20s to lower 20s. If that's the case, then alts are going to get hit pretty hard, and the stablecoin position will come in handy in terms of trying to accumulate and snap up any low cheap positions, cheap coins and projects. So, you know, quant in lower double digits and stuff like that. You know, who's to say that these projects would even go that low? But you know, they're positions that would be nice if they hit, I guess. Trying to catch a knife. Maybe we get a flash crash scenario. But that's just kind of how I'm seeing things at the moment. Just thought I'd do a quick one, just kind of sharing where my mind's at the moment. Let me know what you think in the comments below. We started up recently a Discord. It's called Bongo Discord. That was a saying that I was just putting up tweets, and I was just talking about a lot of projects that I like. And I think it was Chunky Ninja, I think, who I've known for a while. And he said a nice list of Bongomentals. And as soon as he said that, I thought, that's actually quite... It's really fucking dumb, but it had a nice ring to it. So it kind of stuck. And we started up a Discord server. A lot more flexibility than Telegram. I think Telegram, a lot of information just gets lost in the void. Discord allows for a bit more freedom, and you get to split up information into different rooms. And we have about 600 to 700 members at the moment. Very small, tight-knit community, and we're all helping each other. It's just a super nice vibe, and everyone is really kind and helpful, and it's exactly the sort of group that I wanted. I'm not interested in having, you know, the biggest group with a lot of dickheads in there. I'd rather have a really small, tight-knit group that are helpful. And, you know, I understand that there's a lot of people who are coming into the space for the first time and they need help, and this group is kind of catered towards them. So really appreciate the people coming in who know their shit and are also helping the newer people. It's really amazing. So yeah, if you want to be a part of that, join the Discord Bongomentals community. You'll find it on my Twitter profile. You can either scan the QR code on my banner or click the link tree, and it will take you to the Discord as well. But apart from that, hope everyone's well. Hope everyone's, you know, holding up all right in these markets, and more importantly, I hope everyone's good within themselves and staying healthy. And yeah, I'll speak to you all soon.